Good afternoon, comrades. We have a grievance to government of Karnataka, its chief secretary, chief minister, labor minister, and all concerned. Our grievance is this: helpless, unprotected workers in the organized sector. The ray of hope is a dearness allowance. See, the dearness allowance payable during 2020 and 21 with effect from 1/4/2020 shall be paid forthwith. This is a meager amount of rupees 417. Workers in lakhs are expecting this small hike in their salaries. Then, see, Factories Act. Any changes is unacceptable. Now, Government of Karnataka, in line with decision taken in UP, MP, Gujarat, is attempting to increase working hours from 8 to 12 hours. That is not acceptable. Revised minimum wages notified under the Minimum Wages Act for the current year shall be paid forthwith at any circumstance. It should not be delayed. We also demand Mr. M. Mageshwar Rao, who is having dual charge. It should not lead to dubious charge. Immediately, he should be removed from holding the post of labor secretary. No holiday from labor laws under any circumstances. Vis-a-vis, any dilution of labor law is unacceptable. The Interstate Migrant Workmen Act 1979 shall be implemented in its letter and spirit. Diluting or suspension of labor laws by the state government ostensibly under cover of the COVID-19 pandemic is grossly unconstitutional. Time and again, Supreme Court held that any dilution of labor law is nothing but forced labor in violation of Article 23 of the Constitution of India. This is our immediate grievance to the government of Karnataka. The cabinet should not pass any ordinance touching their rights. Comrades, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, these are all BJP ruled states. These states suspended establishments, factories, mining, business, etc. from the purview of 35 labor laws for 1,000 days, 1,200 days and 1,000 states. Now, the BJP ruled states are in the process of passing similar ordinances. It has come to light that the central government directed non-BJP ruled states to pass such ordinances. Per se, these ordinances are atrocious, retrograde, barbaric, which would definitely result in termination of all permanent employees' services. There are 35 laws. We feel 10 are very, very significant and important. Industrial Dispute Act 1947, Factories Act 1948, Trade Unions Act 1926, Equal Remuneration Act 1971, Contract Regulation and Abolition Act 1970, Payment of Bonus Act 1965, Minimum Wages Act 1948, Employees PF Act 1952, Interstate Migrant Labor Act 1979, Gratuity Act 1972. So it also to be noted that there are 45 central laws, most of which were enacted after Second World War. And few of the enactments were after Indian independence, which are all prior to 1980. These laws were enacted after struggle for years and years and after sacrifice of the working class, which per se benefits to the top corporates, both local, foreign, MNCs, TNCs. Now the government is attempting to eliminate labor union and introducing corporate militaristic discipline at the workplace, which would lead to increase of actual wealth of the top corporates. You all know Mukesh Ambani's wealth in the year 2014 was $22 billion, which increased to $55 billion in the year 2018. What I would like to say is suspension of Factory Act 1948. Factory Act as its root since 1881. After several changes due to the sacrifice and fight of Indian working class, it took shape as a Factories Act in the year 1948. Any dilution of Factory Act would lead to bad working conditions. Now government is attempting to increase working hours from 8 to 14 hours per day, which was the practice of 150 years back. If Factories Act is suspended, then there are no law for paid public holiday, casual leave, sick leave, privilege leave, annual leave, earned leave, overtime benefits, canteen, restroom, ventilation, hygiene. The workers would be treated as not human beings. Then suspension of Gratuity Act and Employees PF Act indicates that at the time of retirements, workers would go home empty-handed. Suspension of Trade Union Act, Industrial Dispute Act, indicates withdrawal of right of organization, right of assembly, right of collective bargaining, negotiation, tripartite conciliation, at the end, adjudication. Then suspension of Interstate Migrant Workers Act indicates no responsibility on the part of exporting and importing migrant laborers. See, the migrant laborers move from Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mangalore, Chennai, Coimbatore, Thiruvananthapuram, Bombay. What is their destination? It's only Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh. And these states are ruled by BJP. They have not shown any iota of interest to protect their well-being. It is also to be noted that these migrant laborers, approximately about 10 crores, as answered by the labor minister in the parliament, they were left to fend by themselves. And they are all Hindus. None of them are from Pakistan or Bangladesh. They are not Muslims. They are Sakshat Hindus. But you have failed to take care of them. Failed to take care of them. You have also suspended equal remuneration, equal pay for equal work. Equal Remuneration Act provides same pay for same nature of job, irrespective of gender. Equal pay for equal work means, as guaranteed under Rule 2525A of Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act. Now you are suspending Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act as well as rules of the central government as well as the state government. So now who is the employer? The principal employer disowns them, the contractor disowns them, they are labor contractor. So who is their employer? Who borne responsibility? Now it will lead to gag employment. No relationship between employer and employee. Court cannot intervene. How this is happening? How this is happening? See, we have to look back to the history. We know Great Depression in the year 1929-33, from which capitalism never really recovered even after the Second World War. It was a crisis affecting practically the whole globe, from most industrialized to the most backward. During the first 2 years, 29 and 30, the US and the Germany, the foremost manufacturers, saw industrial production fall by 1/3. Unemployment figured up to 44%. Britain and the US, with Roosevelt's New Deal, introduced welfare economics of John Maynard Keynes' concept. There were, however, exceptions. The more attractive solution for the ruling class was to move to right or to fascism. Italy by then was already fascist. Japan shifted from a liberal to a national militarist regime during the year 3031. Germany brought Nazis to power in 1933. During 1935, capitalism in Germany was increasingly seeking salvation in fascism. In the establishment of the open terrorist dictatorship of most reactionary, the most chauvinist, the most imperialist elements of financial capital. Fascism also provided certain more direct and immediate benefits to the members of big capitalists. The elimination of labor unions, the introduction of fascist discipline at the workplace, and increasing actual wealth of top section of fascist Germany increased its share by 15%. Having referred to the history of Germany during fascist regime, let us look back the service conditions of our own country right from 1990. The Indian capitalist, in collusion with MNCs and TNCs, wanted business-friendly government, which came to be materialized during Vajpayee regime, wherein employment on contract in the organized sector, both public and private, became legal. Based on group of ministers' recommendations, Honorable Supreme Court legalized employment on contract both in core and non-core areas of manufacturing and service sector. Between 2004 to 2014, a regime of Dr. Manmohan Singh, exploitation of labor has been further aggravated. The corporates wanted swift and speedy labor reforms under the regime of present Prime Minister. During his first term, all attempts were made to bring 45 central laws and 200 state laws in respect of job, wage and social protections under 4 codes. Still, the capital wanted elimination of trade unions and all other protective legislation. Finally, Gujarat, UP, MP pioneered reducing entire working class and their families, just slaves of capital. The statistics indicates 77% or 83.4 crore Indian population are poor, extremely poor, marginalized, vulnerable. See, at this stage, it is pertinent to note that Germany, Japan, Korea, UK and US are highly unionized nations, but they are number 1 country in automobile, ITBT, chemical industries, medical industries. See, to boost the economy, the nation needs to have strong demand, which can only be achieved if it can increase purchasing power of the masses. Now, they wanted to create cheap labors, expecting that industries will come. We need to create skilled labor. We should have ITI, Polytechnic, BE, Technology Institution. Where is it? We have unskilled laborers. Where is skill? Where is purchasing power? Skill and purchasing power alone will boost the economy. What the government has been doing during September 2019, central government announced corporate tax reduction, loss of revenue to the tune of 1.5 lakh crores. Now, iron fire, cheap labor. They want to make India as a paradise for the capitalist, which would definitely widen the gap between rich and the poor. Comrades, the living and working conditions of the workers are such that in India, a rebellion is virtually compulsory. Trade unionism is the only answer to the cry and tears of working class. A decent livelihood could not be achieved merely by the customary and occasional protest. Reverting back to the history had seen continental revolutions between 1848 to 1871. The significant revolution, 1851 Taiping Revolution in China, wherein the peasants and workers revolted against Japanese imperialism. In India, during 1855, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, workers, everyone unitedly fought against British capitalism and British imperialism. So between 1871 to 1905, spread of voice of dissent everywhere, spread of socialistic society, spread of Marxism was very rampant. 1905 bourgeoisie revolution in Russia, 1917 working class revolutions, then 1949 Chinese revolution. Working class came to power. The capitalistic class was completely wiped out. That has shaken the whole world, especially the money-bags, capitalists. The industrialist capital, which preferred to be on the side of fascists, were defeated. Hitler committed suicide. Fascism in Italy come to an end. Mussolini was shot dead. Fascism in Spain came to an end. Franco was punished. Fascism in Chile came to an end. He was punished. Fascists, dictators like Idi Amin, Suharto of Indonesia, Marcos of Philippines are no more. They are looked as bad elements in the history of modern world. In India today, the working class, which is the creator of the wealth, which working class is the creator of Indian bourgeoisie, Indian society, are being famished. The rich are made powerful. The poor are being made sufferers. We are working class would rise to the occasion. They will win.